Today, I'm giving y'all some practical insight into what I'm looking for when a customer calls me to service their parking lot. This is a giant parking lot striping job for an apartment complex community that's got two separate locations right across the street, one from another. In this video, I'm talking about what to look for, code violations, what to put in your quotes that will increase your conversion rates, and much more. Be sure to like the video, grab a notepad, and take some notes because this information is going to help you. I know it will because I use it all the time and it works for me. But before that, if you're interested in parking lot striping and want to start a business that's highly profitable, be sure to check out the How to Stripe course. That way you can start striping, get customers, and quit your job. It will be the first link in the pinned comment section and the description. If you text me, I will give you a discount on the entire package. Also, 78.6% of you guys that are watching are not subscribed. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification icon bell. Let's get to the video. What's going on, y'all? In this video, I'm bringing you along with me to look at a very large apartment complex. This call came in off of our GMB profile listing. If you're interested in how we get organic traffic constantly coming into our pipeline every month by having a highly optimized GMB profile, be sure to check out the How to Stripe course. It will be the first link in the pinned comment section and the description. That way you can get the knowledge that you need in order to optimize your GMB profile to get organic traffic constantly coming to you every single month. That way you can turn those traffics into conversions and make more money. What is particularly interesting about the job that we're on today is the fact that it is a massive apartment complex. As you can see in the drone footage, this is an absolute monster. It is two gigantic apartment complexes. It's going to be a multi-phase project. And the property owner called me the other day asking if we could come out, look at the property, give him a price. It's not 100% sure yet, but when it's such a big ticket customer like this one is gonna be, I like to touch the property. And if you guys stick with me as I'm driving around quoting this thing, I'm gonna show you what I'm looking for and specifically how I utilize these pain points as a leveraging tactic in order to get customers just like the one of the property that I'm on right now, okay? Like I tell you guys in my videos, look for code violations. Now, I'm sure that this property manager is going to call other contractors. There's no doubt about it. Now, you're gonna drive around with me. I'm gonna show you what I'm looking for, and then I'm gonna teach you guys how to leverage these code violations, putting them into your quote, position yourself a lot higher. That way, when you're sending off your quotes, not only are you looking better than the next contractor, but it establishes you as a credible subject matter expert that is very knowledgeable pertaining to the subject matter, i.e. in this case, parking lots. First, I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at right now. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about right here. I just mentioned it in the last video. Look at those signs. Those signs are not in compliance. That signage is in violation. If an inspector was to touch this property, they would fail because of having inadequate signage that is not up to the code. That one's out of compliance too. Access aisle looks okay, but the signs are definitely out of compliance. In this case, what I would do is I would take a picture of this and then document it. What I would do is I would document it, take a picture of it, include this in my estimate, while also attaching the code violation. That way, when she reads my estimate, it's not just a boring quote with numbers on it, like I'm desperate and trying to make some extra money, right? Because like I said in the last video, we want to offer solutions. And that's the reason why I get jobs like this, is because I do things that other contractors don't do. Number one, we would document the out of compliance signage. Let me get back in the truck. Right. Luckily this gate is open. I didn't get a code. Here's another one right here, another violation, but I'll show you guys after I do a loop around on the property. You can see that this is going to be a multi-phase project. I mean, this isn't one of those things where you just pull up and get done real fast and stuff like that. I mean, this is going to be a multi-phase project. You're going to have to coordinate this, and whether you're going to be on the site or you're going to have one of your main guys on the site, whatever the case may be, this is going to be a multi-phase project. And that's another way that you can distinguish yourself apart from your competitors, is putting together an action plan, breaking it off into phases, because if it's broken off into phases, what that does is it shows the property manager that you have already thought about this in the beginning. That way, it alleviates her the responsibility of having to put so much effort into coordinating the project. Does that make sense? In other words, you want to alleviate the burden of the property manager as much as possible, okay? That means they're looking for a turnkey solution. What they want is a contractor that is going to assume responsibility, take control, and have a plan of action. If you guys assume responsibility, take control, and have a plan of action, you are more likely to get the job as opposed to another competitor that you're competing against. Make sense? The striping on this side isn't too bad, but it is uneven. That's another point of concern that we can bring up. Like, who did this project the last time, right? Because if we can ensure that it's done right, then what we can do is position ourselves and set us up in the future for when they need it done the next time. Every single sign that I have seen, y'all, every single sign that I have seen is out of compliance, okay? I'm not joking. Every single sign that I'm looking at is out of compliance. It's not the proper measurement from the ground. Look at this. Now I'm gonna get out and show you what else that I'm looking at and just found. Here's something else. Fire lane is not clean, legible, and maintained with the proper stenciling, okay? Now, that's another thing that I would do, okay? 2 violations on this property. We see it all the time, okay? Like I said in the beginning of the video, other contractors are just gonna come out, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna just hurry up, send off a quote, be on to the next one, whereas I'm gonna take an extra 2 to 3 minutes taking pictures of these violations, and not only that, but attaching the code. That way I not only educate the customer by letting them know that their property is out of compliance as it pertains to ADA and fire lane, but I'm also attaching the codes. What I would do is I would call up the fire marshal for this particular city that I'm at. I would find out the code, and then I would attach that code violation to my estimate, thus educating the customer, letting them know that they've got violations. I'm not necessarily looking or counting the lines. That's kind of something that I could do on Google Maps, is counting the lines. But what's kind of going through my mind is the amount of prep work. I mean, is it gonna take a lot of prep work? Because obviously this is a big project. We wanna maximize profitability. I don't wanna be here out for multiple days just prepping. If that's the case, and I've got to be out here for multiple days doing prep work, then obviously I'm going to charge more. So I'm looking for prep work. How long is it going to take us to prepare the surface? Most cases, all you got to do is blow it off, sweep it. Sometimes there's enough pressure from the line striper that you don't have to do that. So the lines on this side are not that bad. They're just a little bit uneven, but they do have significant code violations, both ADA and fire lane. That's what I love about the area that I'm in, okay? The state that I'm in, man, they are super heavy on those code violations. And what it does is when those fire marshals are sent out here, the property owners get hit with violations. When those property owners get hit with violations, man, they have to take action in order to correct the problem. Okay, so this is the north side of the property. Now what I'm gonna do is drive to the south side of the property. Okay, now I'm on the south side of the apartment complex. The striping on this side is a lot more faded. It's not faded to the point of having to do any new layout portions, but it is significantly faded. That tells us that it's been a long time since somebody has serviced this property, which is a good thing, because if there's not a designated contractor to service the property, that allows us to get our foot in the door, okay? So I'm seeing it, the ground's not that dirty. The fire lane and the ADA signs are pretty bad. It's not to the point of where we're gonna have to go do a new layout or anything like that. So, yeah, guys, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about right there, right? Because at the end of the day, we wanna get the jobs, okay? And there's a difference between someone else. You have got to know that, and you have to have that same mentality that even though I'm competing against other contractors, I will do the things that make me look the best, okay? I might not be the best, but I'm gonna do things that are gonna make me look the best. Number one, like taking drone pictures of the property and giving them to the property owner. Notating any code violations that I see on the properties, right? Putting together an action plan that is going to allow me to alleviate some of the concerns of the property manager, right? I'm gonna stack the offer. By the time they get done dealing with me, if they don't pick me, it's only because of price, okay? And you guys have to have that same exact mentality. I know without a shadow of a doubt that when people choose not to pick me for the service, it is because of price. It has nothing to do whatsoever with value, because I know internally that when I'm competing against other people, I'm gonna bring the most value without a shadow of a doubt. A friend of mine lives in the same state that I'm living in, and he told me that he would feel bad if he ever would have to compete against me. And I said, bro, I wouldn't feel bad at all. You don't have to feel bad, because you might be able to beat me on pricing, i.e. giving a cheaper price to get the job, but you'll never be able to beat me in value proposition. Now that might seem kind of weird to say, but that's the mentality that I have. I'm gonna stack the deck in value so much that if they don't use me, it's not because value was not there, it's just they wanted a cheaper price. That's it. Now, the season, what's interesting about this is the fact that the season is slowing down. I gotta hurry up and get out of here because this is gated. What's interesting about this job is the fact that the season is starting to slow down. You still have a bunch of jobs to get to, but like, it's the fourth quarter, budgets are already set. I mean, what I'm saying is the fact that, is that since we are coming to the close of the season, by the time I get to this job, it'll probably be late November. I'm not gonna be so high on my pricing because I have schedule flexibility, okay? So I just wanted to bring you guys along with me on this property to show you what I'm talking about, talk to you about these jobs, things to look for, how you can position yourself, how you can get the job, how you can be different than every other contractor that comes on the property. That way you can get the job, make more money. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.